Easter egg hunt.
Just keeping the vibe going.
Well, first we got I remember my first spring here. We got done with a spring practice, and I think we had a coach visiting or somebody where we went to go get in a restaurant, and literally couldn't get into any restaurant. I'm like, what's going on? They said it's Mom's Weekend in the Greek system. It's a big deal. So I was like, kind of put an idea in my head. We talk a lot about family, and so in the fall we had obviously Dad's Day when we bought all the dads a pullover jersey and let them come. And so I figured why not we do it in the spring for the moms. So we got almost 50 moms here today from our roster. Really cool day to see that out there. Today was a really important day for us. The last 2 Saturdays have been scrimmages. This week we could do a little bit of scrimmage with our Devo guys at the end, but today was a nice 22 period full throttle, kind of like a Tuesday of game week, Tuesday, Wednesday of game week. We really wanted our guys to get stressed, have them get a lot of work physically and make them work at the end. So we did a little end of game scenario with less than a minute, no timeouts, and really stressed them mentally and physically at the end. So excited where we're at. We'll actually next Tuesday we'll change our practice from the early morning to the evening. We'll practice under the lights Tuesday night to get ready for Thursday night's game. From an injury standpoint, we're pretty clean. Really just 4 guys, Zy and Zy Chrysler and Bryce Barnes have been out because of their shoulder surgeries. Matt Bailey obviously has a foot issue, and then Zeke's still recovering from his knees. But otherwise, everybody's been in and out. There's a couple guys that might miss a little bit of time, but nobody expected to miss anything from the summer. So excited for that, and open up for questions.
How do you feel about the progress of your team?
I think I just told the guys, listen, we've got 12 practices behind us. I think we've stepped forward on all 12. I told them it's funny, if you interview a guy, they'll say, hey, this is practice number 9, this is practice number 8. I don't know if a lot of people track that, but our guys do, because we know we only get 15 opportunities, so we really preach taking advantage of it. And we've really gotten through the playbook now, so we've had all scenarios, short yardage, long yardage, every down, every distance, every zone area on the field. We've actually worked all 4 phases of the kicking game, not live, but live. We've worked all 4. I thought our new guys that have come in at the semester have done a nice job of jumping in. I think our older guys have really done a nice job of adapting them. Our 4 new coaches have really fit in very, very well, so I'm excited about the progress.
What are you looking for in the spring game?
I think it's as stressful as we can make it. I don't know what kind of crowd we're going to get, but it is TV at night, different feel. We'll be tackle football except for on the quarterbacks. I'll probably keep out a handful of guys that we haven't done in the past, guys that have proven they can play winning football for us. But I'm looking for clean execution. I want to be able to play offensively, clean football, move the sticks, make big plays, see how things happen defensively. We're obviously looking to make stops, create field position. The kicking game will be a little bit limited, but I'm excited to see it play out under the lights.
Coach, the transfer portal window is opening up. Have you learned anything this spring about what position groups where you might be able to add some depth?
When we got done recruiting in January, we couldn't go out on the road anymore. I knew we still had some open scholarships. Right now, we're actively aware that we got 3 scholarships that we got to use for guys that are actively in the portal now, or late high school fines. So really, how we're going to use those 3, we kind of have it allocated, but I'm really waiting until after spring ball to kind of take an assessment where we're at, what we need, and kind of get a look. And then also, I'm not going to be oblivious to the fact that somebody could come in and tell me something that I'm not expecting, right? We've been very fortunate. It was brought to my attention early in February that we were tied for second in the country for fewest guys getting in the portal, and it's a very positive thing. Our guys like being here, and it speaks volumes about what our coaches do and the relationships we build. I think our guys also, and I'm not oblivious to the fact that there's probably some teams that come after our guys and offer them a significant amount of money in today's world. It's just kind of the facts. But they stay here with us because I think they understand where we can take them, right? And with that being said, what happens over the next 3 weeks will really depend on what we do in the portal, truly.
Well, housekeeping, I don't think we've seen Navion Cargill to this point. What's his status?
Yeah, Navion isn't with us. He's with us here at the university. I'm trying to get him to put him in himself, but probably maybe the 3rd or 4th week of the semester, we set some ground rules that he needed to follow. He's doing everything he can do academically to stay in a good position to find an opportunity for him, but he's no longer with us on the football team.
When it comes to the spring game, how important is that for the quarterbacks in terms of, how big of a piece is spring game when it comes to later this season?
I think just take case in point last year. Tommy came out last year and looked really good in the spring, did some good things, worked with our number 1 offense, communicated and took things from the sideline to the huddle to to the field and executed. And I'm looking to do the same things. Obviously, Luke has done some really good things. Donovan's done some great things. John Paddock's done some really good things. So those three guys and Michal, probably those four, we'll handle the majority of the reps, and we'll kind of see where they play out. But I am excited to see how they work. We'll have our ones go against it. It's really ones against the world.
Okay.
But there'll be a couple quarterbacks I think that work in with the ones.
Donovan Leary, how was he kind of?
Donovan Leary?
Yeah, how has he responded? More reps, like he gets significant reps.
Yeah, it's been a different world for him. Basically, the whole quarterback room changed, right? He went from being in there with Tommy and Art, and now Art's coaching him, and Tommy's gone, and brought in two new guys. He's handled it very, very well. Donnie's got what I opinion, a quarterback mentality, right? He just kind of rolls with it. He kind of keeps things to himself. Doesn't really get overly high, low. He just handles the moment very well. Throws a really good ball out here today. He had two really nice balls that were impressive to watch, and he's really through 12 practices, I think, gotten better every week. And I'm really excited to see him on Thursday night.
You officially announced a lot of staff additions. I know you don't do that without a specific goal in mind or
Yeah.
specific procedure, but have you had a plan like this to increase that, with certain people, and they can do this X, Y, and Z for our
Well, we really didn't increase anything. We just had guys leave. So if you just kind of did the math, guys left. So obviously Ryan gets a lot of headlines because he became the defense coordinator, head coach, but he took obviously CP and Kevin with him, right? And I replaced those coaches, right? But with that also being said, I lost my special teams analyst. I lost my offensive analyst in Taylor Reed. I lost my defensive GA. I lost an offensive GA. So we've lost a lot of guys that got full-time positions, and I just had to backfill those. And it takes a little bit of time. I want to be selective with what we did. In personnel, had some people move on from personnel, so to bring in the two new hires there have been really, really awesome. They kind of just filled in for guys that were there a year ago, though.
How'd you feel about the NCAA lifting official visit when it's
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? See how this all plays out. A couple things, that being a big one, but also in January now we're going to be able to visit with juniors on campus. Now they're saying that head coaches can't go out on the road in the spring, but there's going to be live visits for us off campus as well. I know they're trying to modernize it, but what they also just did is they created a totally different environment in January than it's just unprecedented, right? So I'm sure it's going to be like everything. There's going to be some movement forward, some movement back. It'll be an interesting year ahead of us on many different levels. I think there's going to be continued litigation in the portal world. The NIL world is just absolutely insane. I'm obviously for it. I think our guys really benefit from it, but it's just, I don't think it's sustainable with what's going on right now. There's just too much dirty pool and kind of a bad side of athletics we don't want to talk about.
Format-wise, Thursday, anything new, or doing things like you have?
No,
in the past?
yeah, it'll be. The only thing is we're blue and orange. We're not.
Okay.
We're not. No. I think all the quarterbacks will be in white, but otherwise everybody will be in blue and orange, and it'll be ones against the world. Anything that the twos or the other team scores will count double. We'll have a field goal shotgun rally at the end of the first and the end of the third. So it'll be a lot of different things, but it should be about standard normal for last year. I like the feeling of those ones playing together offensively and defensively.
You mentioned TV. That's a big deal, I assume, right?
It is, just because I think for the kids, and like we do a lot of things with it publication wise from a recruiting standpoint. What I always want to do is try to get the one venue that doesn't have a contrast, right? Like if we did it on Saturday, we'd be battling with 3 or 4 others. So I talked to Fitz this morning, and I think they must be going on Saturday. I know there's a lot of teams that are going on that Saturday or this Saturday today, right? So that's what we're going to do, and I like having the only show in town, really.
Coach,
How do you
I know.
handle practice 15 after the spring game? If that's
Well, we do that for a reason. We want to. What I'm using Thursday for, it's the most game-like situation we can get. So what we do is we treat Thursday night as a game night. We'll come in on Friday and treat that like a Sunday recovery, and then we'll take the Saturday to make corrections from the game. So it'll be a lot of learning how we do things. Plus, I got 4 new coaches, so I want them to learn how we do it. In addition to that, then we'll take at the end of, like we did today when you guys came in and saw some of our younger guys scrimmage, the guys that don't get a lot of reps on Thursday, they'll get a majority of the reps on Saturday.
Coach, I know you want to improve across the board. Are there 1 or 2 areas where you want to see some growth on Thursday night?
Different from what we see during practice, or?
Well, just yes. Are there some things you saw in practice where you think you need to you need
Well,
to improve it?
I think the big thing on Thursday night is just the way we play football, right? Our DNA has got to show up. We don't want to beat ourselves. We want to play clean offensively, play clean defensively. Special teams, we want to create advantages in the kicking game. To feel the pressure of game night, I think, is a big deal, and I want to see how they handle it. And we'll have coaches on the sidelines. We really won't have guys in the booth. We'll have everybody down here coaching. So it'll be as game-like as we can handle, and I want to see those guys adjust in the moments.
Brett's obviously a big time for spring recruiting as well as you build a class. What's been the feedback you've gotten, or how do you guys feel like you stand in that class?
We've had a couple portal visits. Guys that those are the ones that can really have an effect right now. We had a young man visit to us, and he went to an SEC school, a new SEC school, right, and then one of our Big Ten competitions. So it's kind of a unique thing. They kind of the portal guys, if they're smart, they'll get in and visit now, right, because they can watch guys practice, right. Like that's what we did, and that's what we sold. But yeah, we have 7 offer kids here today that as soon as I get done with you guys, I got the next 3.5 hours of 30-minute meetings. And it was fun to see the moms here. And the first June recruiting class of my tenure, there were 16 guys that hit campus, and we've got 13 of those guys here, and they're all in our 2 deep. The 3 guys that weren't here, that didn't come with us, one's I think the backup running back, or maybe the starting running back at Ohio State. One's either starting or a backup safety at Michigan, and the other one is in the SEC. I just don't know his depth, right? So there's 3 guys that we didn't get, but those other ones were really beneficial to us, and they've helped us build this next class, right? And the next class, and it's so I couldn't be more excited. I think the 4 coaches I hired are good recruiters as well. Really happy with Pat Hamilton, Jay Kaiser, and Pat Pearson, the guys that really lead our recruiting department. Nate McNeil. We just got a really good group in there.